Well, here we are getting ready for departure on the 9th of March, nice and early in the morning. It's about 5 degrees outside, so it's chilly but it's not freezing. The forecast is for a west force 4 to 6, which is not ideal for getting back into the River Crouch from the River Orwell, but it's better than it's going to be tomorrow, which is a southwest. So we're going to make our escape now. I'm probably going to put 2 reefs in the main. If it was a force 4, the boat would be relatively happy with the 4 main, but more comfortable with 1 reef in. But as we've got a possible 6 in the forecast, it will definitely be more comfortable with 2 reefs in. This is not a race, so I'm going to make sure the boat is comfortable to start with, so I don't have any fighting. I want it to be boring, because if it's boring, everything is going well. Then I will just roll out the jib as much as I want to in order to balance the boat. So under the cover of darkness, not too concerned about that. There's a full moon today, and by that I mean really tonight. So there's a lovely bit of light out there, and I also know Harwich Harbour pretty well from over the years. There's a recommended yacht track which is easy to follow. It's just outside the main channel. So I will stick to that and listen to channel 71 on the VHF, which is Harwich BTS. They will keep me up to date with any shipping movements, and we will try and keep well clear, out of trouble, turn from Harwich eastwards until we get to the Cork Sand yacht beacon, where I'll make my turn to starboard. We'll head straight out to the Gunfleet Sand, around the wind farm and into the Crouch. There is the theory. Lovely if it would be a 7 or 7's a bit optimistic. An 8-hour trip would be perfect. I'm looking forward to it. Let's get on with it.
With just a whisper of a breeze under a beautiful moon, we drifted out of the Orwell and towards what first appears as a city, but is in fact the busy and bustling port of Felixstowe, the lights of which dominate the horizon. And it's only when you proceed out to sea and away from the port and you really realise the extent of the blackness and the darkness at sea. Sometimes it's quite ominous, even though it's a special place to be, but the feeling of relief is always there for me when the blackness gives way to an inky blue and the first slivers of light appear in front of you. And if you were doing as I was on that Monday morning and sailing directly east, and all you have to do is be patient and wait and watch the light grow and the sun slowly appear on the horizon and bear witness to the dawning of a new day, which is something that I feel is very special and something that I never ever tire of. Time slows down and you just take it in.
This has got pretty nice. We've just gone around the Cork Sand yacht beacon and hardened up onto the wind. The breeze is now 18-19 knots. We're close reaching. It's nice, it's comfortable. I'm pleased I put 2 reefs in because all tour is just sort of settling into it quite nicely. So lovely. A little bit of tide under us now for the next 5 hours or so, which will be lovely. Once we get round the Gunfleet Sand, then we're going to be beating then. So we'll see what sort of ground we can make. But I think it will be good. We can, even if we're not going in the perfect direction, which we won't be because this is sailing, we will just make the best of it, sail as high as we can, and then the plan is to put a long-ish tack in before we get to the Whittaker Sand, and then I can put another tack in which should thread the needle into the outer Crouch channel, and from there, if we start having a foul tide, we have the choice whether to keep plugging away with it or whether to at that point decide that we will get the engine on to help us. We'll see, but this is nice now. This is a very nice sail, and we've got a nice bit of daylight here with us. sun is not too far from coming up. We've got a nice sort of pinky hue on the horizon there. So this is just one of those moments to me that is just so obvious why I love this so much. What a place to be. There's no one around, there's no one to tell you what you can and can't do. There are some rules to obey, but they're really rules to keep yourself safe. There's no one here. I'm out the shipping channel here, so I can go where I deem it safe to go as far as how close I go to the sandbanks. And it's beautiful. It's ultimate freedom. It's totally invigorating. It's exhilarating, even though we're doing under 10 miles an hour. And what more could I say? Ultor is getting on with it very nicely indeed. Now on the port hand side here we've got something called the Rough Towers. The Rough Towers is an installation that dates back to World War II. I don't profess to know lots about it, but I understand it was a lookout tower, and also I believe there were some anti-aircraft guns on the top. At some point in the past it was sold to a private individual, and now it is called the Sealand Forts, and it's its own sovereignty, and I believe Lord Sealand is owner of all he surveys there. I think there's a passport for Sealand. I believe there might even be a currency for Sealand. There is actually a website for the place, which is quite interesting to look at. I met the guy when I was in Harwich a few years ago, and he's as eccentric as you'd probably like him to be. Good guy, and fair play to him for taking a completely different approach to how you want to spend your time and live your life on this place. So let's just see. It's quite a long way in the distance, but I'll point the camera, see what happens. As the sun rises right in the middle of the towers there, right in the middle of the legs. I mean, this is just a dream, isn't it? There she blows. I don't wish to sound like I'm gloating, but this is Monday morning, and if you're watching this and your Monday morning is anywhere as lovely and fantastic as this is, then I salute you. Well done. I love this. How could you not? Well, so far I'm very happy with my sail configuration. I think 2 reefs in the main, it's blowing 20 knots now. It just feels lovely, it feels really nice and balanced. There's sort of 5 degrees of negative helm that the autopilot is kind of dialed in now to keep us in a straight line. I think I'm going to have a hand steer soon, but it's just a lovely opportunity to walk around the boat, have a look and enjoy and take it in, and also test the autopilot. New Raymarine Evolution, I had one on my previous boat. I was told when I bought it, what do you want for an autopilot? If you want to press the button and it to do what you want it to do, then that's what you're going to get, and that is what you get. So it's very good. I had it on a catamaran, now it's on this monohull, and it's doing a good job. It's a crew member, that's what it is. We've got some positive power going into the battery. I've checked the shunt, which tells me how much power is coming out of the batteries or going in, and with our generator running in this breeze, autopilot's on, VHF's on, AIS is on, all the navigational equipment is on, and we are putting in about between 1 and 2 amps of positive power. Also the iPad is running here for the charts and for the navionics, so we're good. and of course when the sun comes up a bit higher we will find that the solar panel does a bit. So I don't generate an enormous amount of power on this boat, but I do believe to some extent that the more power you generate, the more you are going to use. So I try to be pretty conservative about it. If the autopilot's working hard, then it's going to be drawing more, but it's not working hard. You can see behind me there's not much movement of the wheel going on. This is the opportunity to try and balance the boat. It feels good. It's a nice boat to sail. It's easy. It's an easy boat to sail. You know, it talks to you. It tells you what it wants. You know if it's happy or it's not. And right now I feel like she's happy. And guess what? So am I. So we're pinching a little bit in here, just to try and make up a bit of ground, going over the edge of the Gunfleet sand. Yeah, it's 23, 24 knots blowing now, 25. So we've got enough breeze here, that's for sure, and we've got the predictable and typical East Coast chop, pretty short wave frequencies, but Alta's just getting on with it really, bullying the waves aside, so that's good. We're doing good. It's nice. I would like the wind to be, you know, ever so slightly more stable at 21 or so knots. That's what it is now. Feels good, but it can blow. If it blows a bit more, then I'll have to roll a bit of the jib away. The main is not fully sort of pulling, and the jib looks like it could do with being sheathed in a little, but to be honest it's because I am sailing pretty close to the wind. But I'm happy with how we're tracking along. I'm happy with our course. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Making some nice progress. We will be putting a tack in I don't know, probably an hour's time or so, and see how we go with that. And then once we get around the corner I'll really be putting it into the wind, and we'll see how much progress to windward we can make, which will sort of let us know how this is going to go, tacking all the way into the crouch. So we'll see, but very happy ship right now. Hey, a couple of big slams. Oh, a nice bit of water on the deck. So we've got cranked in now, just got the main sheet round and let it up past the cleat to the windward jib winch, which seems to work quite nicely. So I've got her in. You can see that it's still not filling perfectly, but that is because I'm taking a bit of a liberty. I've got a 40-degree apparent wind angle showing on the dial. You know, nice little 26 knots there, and the same thing, I've cranked in the jib as well. I've now put that in as hard as I want to feel sort of considerate to the boat. We've got 7.7 knots over the ground, 6.3 knots through the water. The difference being that we've got the tide underneath us, and the sun is out. I keep banging on about how beautiful it is, but the reason I keep doing that is because it is beautiful. You know, so I think really for now we are sort of fixed on this position for, I'm going to say we've probably got 8 miles or so of this now, before we consider putting a tack in. I'm very good at overestimating the progress you're going to make going to windward. I was pinching up a bit too hard there for a while, and the boat was kind of stopping a little bit when it was hitting the troughs of the waves. So I'm bearing away by about sort of 3 or 4 degrees now, and my speed has gone up now. Speed over the ground is sort of 8.5, sometimes up to 9, which is nice. And then the course over the ground is 2002 degrees, where we're steering 193, so that's the tide doing the job. And when I was trying a bit too hard to go to windward, we were about 198, so bizarrely enough, by sort of bearing away a bit, allowing the boat to power up more and sail better, she's trucking along quite nicely. I have to say, behind me, when I was coming round the Gunfleet Sand, it was a really short, sharp chop. Some pretty big slams and quite a lot of green water over the boat. But we seem to have flattened off a bit now. Well, it's going to be quite a long slog really. I'm now thinking that I'm going to go as far as I can go really, over to the start of the sandbanks that go into the Thames, and then I'll put a tack in there, and I think it might be a slightly kinder angle across the waves, which would be nice. So that will be one long tack, another long tack, and then on the third tack I should be heading into the Crouch. But yeah, we're way off that yet, but we've got the tide with us. We'll keep plugging away, but this is good. This is good. It's a nice test for Alter and a nice test for me as well. Well, there's the tack. Nice actually. Just dialed in 100 degrees on the autopilot. Set the jib back for a while. Went round pretty well. And I don't think I'm speaking too soon. The sea state's quite nice this way. We've got a sandbank coming up, but I think we can go over the top of it. We'll keep an eye. But yeah, quite nice. Always a bit tiring when you suddenly put a tack in. You go from no action, sitting down, relatively relaxed, to full on action for a couple of minutes. But that's good. We've now got 7.8 knots on this tack, good wind angle, 14 metres under the keel, heading into the middle of the wind farm really. So yeah, progress is good. Progress is as good as I hoped it would be, to be honest. I'm happy with the way the main is pulling. If I was being fussy, I could probably crank down on the reefing line a bit more to tighten the foot of the sail. But the leach is nicely open. We're spilling some wind out there. We've got some good drive. The boat's happy. The crew's happy. Yeah. It would have been lovely if we could have somehow found our way to the east of the wind farm here. The last two turbines there. I don't think there's a rule that says you can't sail through there and that end is deep enough. But no, you know, It sounds like it's a great story for the pub, but I'd rather not take the chance. So we put a tack in, which means we're going to be a little bit south of the channel. So I'm probably going to have to put another tack in at some point relatively soon, and then we'll sort of make our approach into the channel. See how we go. Hopefully it'll flatten up a little bit in there, a bit, but we're a way off from that yet, so I'm being optimistic. Yeah, my arms are pretty burnt out now, I've got to be honest. I need to do some press ups, man. Flattened off pretty nicely as we come in here. Going to try and play the long game, and I'm going to try and tack all the way in. It's keeping me warm, which is good. It's definitely a bit more southwest in it than west, which is making our life a bit harder. But we're making some good progress here. We've got 7.9 over the ground. A couple of hours of the flood tide remaining. Just going to keep going. Oh man, that's pretty much it. I'm pretty worn out now. A lot of tacking, but I'm in the entrance to the crouch. About to cruise past Holywell Point soon. So it's not going to be long. We'll put the engine on, get the sails rolled away. My arms are burning. There's my favourite, Holywell Point. In we coming the wrong side of it, but the tide is an hour off high. So we are good. We've had a good solid 22 to 25 knots all the way. Tough work, but awesome work. It's got to be one of the best Mondays I've had. What a beauty. I am a cream crackers. Nice workout. Well done, all taught. Well done, you. Well, here we are on the mooring buoy outside the Corinthian Yacht Club on the River Crouch. 12 o'clock I was back, so that was an 8-hour trip, which is nearly one of the best times actually, and considering it was a beat for 90% of it, that is a very, very good time. Thank you very much, all taught. The adventure is on the way. We are leaving in possibly about 1 month's time or less. This will probably be my last single-handed sail for quite some time, so it was lovely to get one of those in the bag, and then it will be Asher and I sailing this boat onward to new destinations.